I've rented a few places in the past, you know, I'm not new to renting. I mean, I've been a student and what have you, and had to have rental properties for many years prior to buying a house. And I've never had so many hassles with appliances as since I've moved into this particular flat, this apartment. First big thing was that the oven never just wasn't operating, simply because there was a part missing. Really annoying thing, because it was just a knob on the actual oven that so I couldn't adjust the actual temperature. That's all it was. You get a lot of that around here. Trying to do a report when you've got skateboarders going past is not the easiest thing. Actually, the footage I lost was there's a guy in a bloody a push bike on the opposite side of the road who yelled out at me just to alert me that he was coming down the footpath. Mind you, he should have been on the road anyway, but that's another issue. But getting back to the appliance situation with the apartment, like I said, very annoying that I couldn't use this oven for months, mainly because this little part wasn't took ages to get. One reason was that the idiots forgot the order. So there was the supplier had stuffed up the order for it anyway, so that was one issue. And other things was it just took forever to get the part, because, you know, I'm in Cairns, I'm not in a capital city anymore, so things take longer. Compounded by the fact that the workers here, they work on Queensland time. So it's notorious that things get done slower up here. I mean, the people are nice enough to deal with. I quite like the tradies I've met, but that's what they say. Although they've been reliable and have turned up when the agents actually contacted them, so that's been good. But you know, I've been pretty stiff with this apartment. I mean, that was the oven was the first thing, and that took literally months to get fixed, and I got pretty pissed off about that because, you know, I do a bit of cooking at home, and I don't mind, and I do use the oven, so that was a pain, and especially considering this is the one place that didn't have a microwave oven. Very unusual to find an apartment these days without a microwave oven, but this one doesn't have one. So yeah, it compounded the problems. On top of that, then the range, actually the electric range top also died and had to be replaced. So that was out of commission for a week or so, which wasn't nearly as bad as the oven, but it just compounded the frustration with this place, things going wrong. The main thing is that the biggest improvement was I didn't have a pain in the arse tenant upstairs. Neighbour, the new neighbours are so much better. Yeah, she's very good, very reasonably quiet and considerate, and that's really of more importance to me, having a decent life downstairs. In spite of all that though, I've got to still say that it sounds like sometimes like an elephant walking around on the roof. I mean, she may not be pounding along on the ground, on the floor, but it sounds like it. I think it's a poor design, so I don't want to bloody bag her about that, but it really does make a thumping sound from time to time. So but that's a minor consideration compared to the ridiculous sounds that were coming from the place with the previous tenant, who I thought was running some sort of a dodgy business at all hours. And you know, it's just not on when you got sounds all night. You can't live like that. So that was a big improvement. So it's been great with the new tenant. That's been the biggest improvement. Socially, things have been crap here. I haven't done anything. I haven't got off my arse and done anything, and that's my own fault. I just haven't made an effort. If anything, I've probably gone backwards a little bit. I think relationships I thought were stronger than they actually were have sort of withered on the vine to some extent. But again, it may also be the fact that I'm not getting out that much, especially in this weather, because it has been very, very wet. So it's a real luxury to be able to walk today, to be honest with you. I mean, I just forced myself to get out because, you know, you get cabin fever. And it's crazy to be up here and sort of have that happen. Other thing may be a little confusing is in that previous video on the other side of the road when it was wet earlier today, the one that I just did, that I said that it's I was expecting it to possibly get humid. Well, it has already been humid. Don't get me wrong, the locals certainly find it hot, and I'm sure visitors find it particularly humid, but I'm used to Southeast Asian sort of weather these days, and to me the humidity hasn't been the major issue, it's just been the heat. But it's only been really steamy after a really heavy downpour, then yeah, the humidity is very high. But it just compounds the lack of comfort when it does get hot. So yeah, it is an issue, but it's not as big an issue as you might have thought, at least not for me. It's really just that it's been bloody hot for about a week or so during January. But I knew that was going to happen anyway, and it could have been worse, so it's okay. So that was all right, and I got those little things sorted out. Hasn't been any major issues since then, except recently I had problems with the hot water. Apparently the hot water service is about 10 years old. It's one of those communal jobs, and it's gas. Not that the agency knew that. They weren't sure whether it was electric or gas. They first sent an electrician out to me. Then in the afternoon I got a plumber fronting up because it actually is a gas issue, and it took them a while to work out where the actual where the heating comes from. It's not like, it's weird. You think a block like that of apartments would be some sort of schematic plan or something they could work on, knowing where these utilities are, but no, apparently they're, well, if there is, they don't use them. I imagine Body Corporate would have it, but then again, maybe not. But so I didn't have hot water for one day, which wasn't a major issue up here because it is pretty warm. It's in the middle of summer, and it was quite refreshing having a cold shower, to be honest. So that's not a major issue, but it's been off and on, one day off, so it's really hard to pick what's going on with it. But I was told they're going to have to replace the boiler, so I imagine it'll take a few weeks to get that sorted, if maybe longer. But as long as I've got some hot water in the interim, I guess. But it just sort of adds to all the little niggles I've had with this particular apartment. Having said that, though, I've looked at possibly buying a place, and I don't know if that's such a great option anyway. There's a lot more costs up here than down south, so I don't think it'd be worth it, to be honest. I think a lot of people have the opinion that you're better off renting up here, and they might be right. Certainly no capital appreciation, so I'll be in no rush to buy a place. If I saw a bargain, I might snap it up, but it'd have to be something pretty compelling. So yeah, not in any great hurry there, but overall, as I said, it's definitely a positive experience in spite of all the little niggles. I'm much happier living in a place smaller like this, 145,000 people. I can walk everywhere. The cost of living is pretty low. I don't have any transport costs, obviously, and food's not expensive. Grog, it's all reasonable. But they cater to backpackers up here, so obviously they're going to charge the earth for a lot of things. And yeah, it's a pretty good lifestyle generally. So I'm happy with it this time of my life, and I think I'll be hanging around here for a bit longer. So, and if anything, things are getting better regarding connections into Asia. The airlines are getting more and more flights directly into Asia. There's direct flights from Cairns to Japan, for instance, that take place on a regular basis, a couple of times a week, I think, with a low-cost airline, and hopefully there'll be some decent connections to Singapore at some stage soon. That'd be great. There already is one to Bali and Denpasar, but it just means I have to do a few stopovers to get to Vietnam for one. If they get a decent direct flight to Singapore, then it'll cut out one of those stopovers, which would be great. But it's only a minor consideration, but seeing I'm so close to Asia here, north of Australia, you'd hope that there'd be some advantage there. But the way airlines operate, they work on hub systems, so so it doesn't always work that way. Anyway, that's the update, and yeah, pretty good, pretty happy with living here, so fingers crossed it continues.